Okay, so here's this. Picture this. You're like killing it in the business world, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're ready to expand, need a bigger space, maybe something hip, like exposed brick walls, lots of natural light.
Yeah, the dream.
Totally. But then, just as you're about to sign the lease on that perfect spot, bam, someone else swoops in and snatches it up. Turns out that gem never even hit the market. Ever been in that situation?
Happens all the time. See, in commercial real estate, it's not always about what you know. It's about who you know. That's where a good tenant rep broker, they can be a real game changer.
For like your secret weapon, right?
Exactly.
So today, we're doing a deep dive into the world of tenant rep brokers. We're talking why they're not just for the real estate moguls, but a smart move for any business.
Yeah, big or small.
We've got some great info from Allies Commercial Realty. This is stuff that could give you a serious leg up in the cutthroat world of commercial leases.
For sure. A lot of business owners, they think they can handle lease negotiations on their own.
Yeah.
I've negotiated deals before, they'll say.
Right.
But commercial leases, those are different.
Oh, totally.
It's a whole other ball game. They're packed with legal jargon, clauses that'll make your head spin.
Yeah.
And landlords, they often have entire legal teams on their side.
It's like going up against a pro athlete when you've only ever played in your backyard.
That's a good way to put it. A tenant rep broker, they level the playing field. They're your advocate, your negotiator. They guide you through all those real estate twists and turns.
And speaking of leveling the playing field, let's talk about conflicts of interest. Our source, Allies, they really hit on this.
Yeah, and it's huge. Deal directly with a landlord's rep. Their loyalty, it lies with the landlord. It's their job to get the best deal for them.
Right.
Even if it's not the best for you. A tenant rep broker, though, they work for you and you alone. Their goal, getting you the absolute best space at the best possible terms.
It's like having someone on your side of the chessboard looking out for you.
Exactly. And they're experts at spotting those hidden clauses in a lease, understanding the market, negotiating on your behalf.
And finding those off-market spaces, the ones you never even knew existed.
Oh, absolutely. A good tenant rep broker, they hear about spaces that are about to open up, new developments, landlords looking for a deal, but not publicly. Imagine snagging that cool space downtown, a converted loft, never even listed because your broker, they were in the know.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That insider access can make all the difference.
For sure.
But even if you're not after the trendiest spot, finding the right space is about more than just the square footage or the price tag, right?
You got it. A good tenant rep, they'll take the time to really understand your business, your plans for growth, your company culture even. They factor in things like how easy is the commute for your employees? What kind of amenities are nearby? They want to make sure the space reflects your image. They're not just finding you a space, they're finding you the right space.
It's like the difference between just grabbing a bite to eat and having a meal crafted just for you by like a world-renowned chef.
Exactly.
And speaking of having a skilled hand guiding you, let's talk about the lease negotiations themselves. This is where things can get really interesting.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Lease negotiations. It's where things can get, well, kind of hairy, right?
Yeah, there are definitely some traps to watch out for. Like, ever heard of a triple net lease?
Triple net lease. Sounds kind of ominous, doesn't it?
It can be. It sounds simple enough, but those three little words can really add up.
Okay, break it down for me. What is a triple net lease?
So on top of paying your rent every month, you're also on the hook for some of the property's operating expenses.
Okay.
Things like property taxes, insurance, even stuff like common area maintenance.
Hold on. So if the landlord decides to, say, remodel the lobby, I could be stuck with a huge bill.
You got it. And those costs, they can balloon over time, especially if the lease isn't super clear about how much they can increase each year.
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is why you need someone in your corner.
Absolutely. A good tenant rep broker, they'll spot those clauses right away, and they'll negotiate caps on those increases, protecting you down the line.
That's huge. It's like having a crystal ball, but for your finances. What other, hidden traps should we be watching out for?
Well, another common tactic is burying unfavorable terms deep in the lease, hiding them in the fine print.
Ooh, sneaky.
Right. And they'll use vague language about things like operating expenses or common area maintenance.
I see where this is going.
Exactly. They might sneak in hidden fees or pass-through charges, things that can really hurt your bottom line if you're not careful.
It's like they're speaking a different language.
That's a great way to put it. But that's where a tenant rep, they're worth their weight in gold because they can decode it all for you.
So they're like lease whisperers.
Something like that. They'll go through that lease with a fine-toothed comb, clarifying anything that's unclear, making sure you understand the potential cost of every single clause. They'll push for clearer terms and push back on anything that puts you at a disadvantage.
They're like business contract ninjas fighting for your best interests.
And their skills don't stop at just understanding the lease. They're also expert negotiators.
Right. Got to be able to play hardball when it's needed.
Exactly. They use their knowledge of the market, their understanding of the landlord's position, to negotiate the best terms for you.
Give me an example. What kind of things can they negotiate?
Well, they could negotiate a longer rent-free period, to help you offset those moving costs. Or they might be able to secure tenant improvement allowances.
Tenant improvement allowances. That's a mouthful. What are those?
Basically, it's when the landlord agrees to chip in some money to help you upgrade or customize this space.
Wait, so free money to design my dream office?
It's like free money. And it's something you might not even know to ask for if you didn't have a tenant rep on your side.
That's incredible. So it's not just about understanding the fine print. It's about knowing what to ask for and how to ask for it, right?
100%. And a good tenant rep, they'll fight tooth and nail to get you those concessions.
Yeah.
They'll use their relationships, their market knowledge, and their negotiation skills to make sure you get the best deal possible. No stone unturned.
Okay, but let's be real. All this sounds great, but it's got to cost a fortune, right?
That's the best part. In most cases, it's completely free for the tenant.
Wait, free? How is that even possible?
So here's how it works. In commercial real estate, the landlord usually pays the commission for both their own representative and yours.
So the landlord is paying for both sides.
Exactly. The fee structure already accounts for both sides. You get that expert representation without paying a dime out of pocket.
Wow, that's like getting a free upgrade to first class. You're getting expert guidance, and you're not even breaking the bank for it.
Precisely. The service practically pays for itself, especially when you think about all the savings and benefits a good tenant rep broker can get you.
I gotta admit, even I'm a little blown away by that. Free expert help that could save you, thousands of dollars down the road, maybe even more? That's a no-brainer.
It really is. It kind of highlights a key takeaway from all this. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to commercial real estate.
Yeah, for sure. We started talking about those hidden gem spaces, the ones you'd never find on your own. But even if you're not chasing the coolest office award, just understanding how leases work, those improvement allowances, all the tricky clauses, that's huge.
You got it. Even if you decide to go it alone, after hearing all this, you'll at least know what questions to ask. You'll be able to spot those red flags and negotiate from a stronger position.
It's like having a cheat sheet for the whole commercial real estate game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, it makes you think this idea of getting expert help, it applies to so much more than just real estate, right?
Oh, absolutely. This whole deep dive, it really shows how valuable specialized knowledge can be. Makes you wonder, are there other areas in your business, maybe even your personal life, where you could benefit from calling in a pro? It's so true. We try to do it all ourselves, thinking we're saving money. But sometimes bringing in an expert, whether it's for real estate or your finances or even like a personal trainer, sometimes that's the smartest move you can make. Saves you time, money, and a whole lot of stress in the end.
Couldn't agree more. It's all about working smarter, not harder, right?
Right.
Realizing that there are people out there with a know-how who can help you reach your goals faster.
Well said. Well, we've covered a ton of ground today, but if there's one thing I hope you take away from all this, it's that you don't have to navigate the world of commercial real estate on your own. There are experts out there, tenant rep brokers who can guide you every step of the way. And the best part, often it won't cost you a thing.
Absolutely. It's all about making smart choices, using the resources available to you, and setting yourself up for success.
And on that note, thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of tenant representation. We hope you found it useful, maybe even a little eye-opening. Remember, knowledge is power, and sometimes the smartest move is knowing when to call on the pros. Until next time. Get in touch with Allies Commercial Realty at info@alliescommercialrealty.com to find your ally in commercial real estate.